America and Israel cannot win this war. All my predictions, prophecies have all came true. Check out my old posts. I'm batting 100, y'all. Hit some of these buttons and get your game. The reason why, there's three reasons. Number one, America, the West, stacks the deck before they ever engage and do anything. They didn't stack the deck on this one here. They didn't propagandize, I don't know if that's a word, the American population before engaging in this. So, Americans are like, what? They have no idea. They didn't prep them. They didn't prime them. They didn't brainwash them. They didn't gaslight them. They didn't psyop on them. And that's this administration's. That's their forte. That's what they do best. And they weren't able to do that. They thought the same scenario was going to happen through Venezuela as they did in Venezuela. That way, just keeping out of the psyche of the Americans, keep them out of politics, and just rule the world. Take out all the administrations they don't like, and I guess rule the world. So and they also didn't stack the deck militarily. As you know, we're about to run out of missiles that are protecting these bases and everything from these drones and the incoming missiles. The Iron Dome and all that kind of, they're running out, and they're not going to be able to produce enough to maintain the incoming fire. So they didn't even prep militarily. So it's like, so it's just Number two, a house divided cannot stand. What happened in this country, MAGA basically is a PSYOP operation, the KGB PSYOP operation. Putin wants the old Soviet Union. What stands in his way? NATO. What's the power behind NATO? America. Destroy America, you get your country back, or you get your empire back, or whatever. So, to divide the country between red and blue, MAGA hates the blue so bad. Now finally the blue hates the red so bad. The house is so divided. I mean, literally, they can't stand each other. So any effort the country does is split. And in fact, there are people rooting for Iran. So it's just America, the blue in this country are actually feeling that ICE is coming after them. So they actually feel like they're the victims of imperialism. So it's just really bad. Number three, I could testify to this personally. When God hears your tears, his justice gets activated. I believe that some child underneath that rubble in Palestine, some teardrop was heard by God. Now that may sound a little weird, like God hears all tears. It's true, but I just know that there's certain people who can touch God's heart in a way that others may not have the karma for it or the alignment for it, or however. I can't explain it fully. All I know, that you mess with the wrong one, you're messing with God. So I remember some child getting pulled out the rubble, and she had this terrified look to her face. She was just a young child, and all her family was wiped out, and she was all full of dust. And I felt it in my heart. When God feels something, his justice gets activated. So if God recognizes that his justice can be best served through guaranteeing victory for the Iranians, not saying the Iranians have to be all holy, or if they are holy, it's just that he probably knew that they had the guts to give the guts for it, because God works along with us. He's not a puppet master. But if God has ordained and anointed and blessed and protected the Iranian fighters for victory, then I don't care if the whole world jump on Iran. They're going to lose. The whole world's just going to end up losing. I can testify to that. I'm protected and loved, and everything I do is anointed and blessed. I can't miss. I can't lose. So I don't care who I go up against. I always come out with a victory. God heard my tears, and that was a wrap. All he needed with me is be bold and and that was that. So, um, and you can see some evidence of it. I mean, you got the big, huge tanker, the Abraham Lincoln on the run in the Indian Ocean. I mean, that's ridiculous. You got. I knew there was a lie about American soldiers when I saw the first three that were black. What? That was a cover up, man. I knew then there must have been hundreds that have passed away. International news have said that hundreds of our American soldiers have been unalive. Everything they do has been successful. When everything you do is successful, you know God got you. And not because God got a particular love for the Iranians or the Iranian regime or anything like that. Is that God can work with who he want to work with to make his plan effective. See what I'm saying? Like, for example, Muhammad Ali, he knew Ali had the goods and protected him so Ali could do what he got to do. Or just anybody, really, just whoever. When God got you, he got you. It doesn't mean that you're particularly special per se, but he just knows that his justice can be best served, or his mission can be best served, or what he wants to accomplish best served through that particular people, that particular person, or whatever it is. So, that's what's going on, y'all. That's what's going on. Peace.